So by now, I'm pretty sure you're all well aware that feeling your emotions is by far your greatest asset, your biggest lottery ticket to being happy. And, the initial gut feeling response to setting time aside to feel your emotions is fear, panic, intimidation. Just scary, right? It's kind of, we don't want to feel pain because it hurts, it's uncomfortable. It's just somewhat discomforting to put yourself through that. It's kind of like, why would I torture myself for no reason? The paradox of life is if you don't want to feel pain, you don't want to feel pleasure. If you don't want to feel sad, you don't want to feel happy. If you don't want to feel death, you won't be able to feel life. It's just the ball game that we've been assigned here on planet Earth as a human. There's not much we can do about it. There's just not much we can do about it, except for choosing whether we run away from it or we be proactive when we go into it. Now, in my humble opinion, I think if you run away from it, it's chasing you, and it's fitter than you, and it's more relentless than you, and eventually the universe will guide your pain into you through relationships, bad health, unfortunate circumstances in life, whatever you want to call your bad luck and misery. The universe will keep mirroring back to you the state of your health, the state of your emotional health. And if there's a lot of pain and anguish and misery, the circumstances in your life will show up so that it triggers those exact same emotions in you. Why does it do that? To show you what you're attracting, right? Science is well and truly established that everything's energy, and that our thoughts produce gravity or energy, whatever you want to call it. So many different scientists label it. But the bottom line is that your feelings have the most gravitational pull. I think the heart, I forget the maths, I'm not a scientist, I'm not too nerded out on it, but apparently, the heart center has a greater electromagnetic field than your thoughts or whatever. The heart center's got the most pull on electromagnetic field. So your feelings are going to be responsible for what you attract in your life. And if you're attracting bad luck and misery, bad circumstances, bad relationships, bad finance, bad health, just a shitty 5 out of 10 life, it's because your emotional health, your emotional status is actually attracting that to you, and that comes in the form of trauma that you haven't dealt with, that comes in the form of a depression that you're running away from. It comes in the form of anxiety that you're avoiding or suppressing. The reality is all suppression is the governing factor of your life. What I mean by that is your lack of ability to express yourself, whether it's verbally, physically, emotionally, in every circumstance in your life. That lack of speaking your truth, feeling your truth, being your truth. So I'm talking very multiple levels here. I'm talking about your thoughts, right? Your true thoughts. Are you speaking your mind? I'm talking about your emotional health, the true emotional health. Are you feeling? Are you expressing how you really feel when someone says, "Hey Shane, how you doing?" Do you say, "I feel like shit. I feel like I want to kill myself"? Are you really being honest with yourself? And then physically, Are you physically, expressing yourself? And that means, are you in a stable enough, physically healthy enough condition to either express movement in its capacity that we should be able to, or are you limited by health reason or by being overweight or whatever it is? Expression is the way out in every instance. If it's uncomfortable to say what's on your mind, say it. Short-term uncomfort, long-term comfort. If you're painful, if it's painful to express your emotional health short-term, well, long-term it'll be comfortable for you to do so. Why are we afraid? This is the question I want you to contemplate. Yes, it is painful. It is uncomfortable. It is scary. But it's absolutely necessary that you deal with that voice in your head that tells you how uncomfortable it is, how scary it is. It's only a feeling. It's your voice in your head that's telling you that don't go there. You're going to die. Your depression's going to kill you. Your anxiety, you're going to chew your nails off. What's going to happen? Whatever, I don't know what voices go on. For me, unfortunately, I'd never studied the emotional health status ever. And I was just forced to feel depression, suicide, anxiety, panic attacks. I just didn't know what the fuck was going on. I couldn't label it, which is probably a good thing. I just read the roller coaster because I didn't know what was going on. I just had no words to label or to describe what was happening in me. I just had to feel like shit for months, right? And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did. Because that's why I have the audacity to tell you to do the same thing, no matter what your condition or situation or whatever. You can say and describe and label and whatever, how bad it is for you right now watching this video, or how many excuses you've got to why it's not possible, not feasible to feel your emotions, and you don't understand, Shane, I can't do it, it's this and it's that. Whatever the excuses are, just realize that there's nothing to be afraid of, right? You're not going to die. Let's cut to the chase. You won't die, okay? Believe it or not. You just won't die by feeling your emotions, okay? That's number one. Number two, realize that by not feeling the depression, the anxiety, whatever it is, suicide, by not allowing yourself to go into it, and what I mean by that is that you literally, a wave's coming, right? And this is the only analogy I can use. There's a big wave. It's massive. You're scared shitless. You don't even know if you're going to survive because it's that big. All you know is that it's coming one way or another. And you can think about how you don't want to catch the wave or you got to do something, but either way it's going to take you, right? Eventually the wave will take you. That's your emotions, and eventually it will take you. You can swing your hand up for the lifesaver. Help me, right? But the beach is closed. There's no lifesavers. It's winter. There's no one around. It's just you out there by yourself. You can try and get a life jacket, which will be the equivalent of medication, right? But the waves will keep coming, no matter how many life jackets you've got. You may survive the big wave once, twice, 10 times. But the tsunamis keep coming, right? So it's best just to take the life jacket off and go for a ride. Just let it take you to the shore. No matter how much you feel like you're suffocating underwater, how many tumble turns you're doing, you can't, you're disorientated, you know what, where the wave's taking you. I can assure you that eventually you will pop your head up, take a big deep breath and be like, okay, I'm alive still. And you'll be on the shore and you'll be able to go grab your towel, dry off, take yourself to your car and get on with your life. But because you were willing and able and courageous enough to catch the tsunami in, the next time a tsunami comes, you know nothing's going to happen. There's nothing to be afraid of. And each time a tsunami comes, each time your emotions come up, and you know each time that they come up, you're able to deal with them and feel them and not be scared of them. And realize that by every wave that you've caught, every emotion that you've felt, it takes you that much closer to your soul, to your true self. Not to the self that you think you are, but to the actual self, who you really are. The godlike self, the eternal, the divine. Label it as whatever you want. But the true self that sees things objectively, sees things for how they are, doesn't label or judge or make excuses. It just does what it needs to do. That's how people are successful in life, in health, in finance, in any capacity of life. Any successful person has figured out, in whatever way they've figured it out, spiritual or non-spiritual, meditators and non-meditators, the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people. Successful people have realized that this is only very limited and that it actually holds you back. And that feeling, going on gut instinct, takes you to a higher place. Now, your gut instinct, it's linked to your emotional health. If you're got emotions there that you're running away from, your gut instinct can't be trusted because it's going to take you towards the pain, which actually should be trusted because it's trying to help you. It'll take you to whatever you're hiding from because it wants you to get better. That's why people don't trust their intuition, because it doesn't always take them to a nice, healthy, happy, rosy place. It actually takes them towards pain. 2012, my intuition told me to go to London and have this massive adventure by myself. It'll be a chapter in my life where I get to become a man and go explore the world and have a massive, adventurous time with myself. That was a gut instinct. I booked the ticket straight away because it was so exciting to me. That led me to my suicidal thoughts. Believe it or not, my gut instinct took me to, by far, the darkest experience I've ever had in my life. Why would it do such a thing? Because I wanted the best for me. And look how happy I am now. I'm very grateful that it did that. So now when my gut instinct tells me to do something, I don't question and ask and contemplate and rationalize and try and analyze if it's the right thing to do. I just go and do it. And if it brings me roses, yippee. And if it brings me lessons, yippee. It'll take you to what you need every single time. So let's try and wrap up here. Don't be scared of your emotions, number one. Be proactive. Make time to feel them, no matter how painful they are. And that may and does include stop drinking, stop the social media if it consumes you, stop any addiction that you have that numbs you, that distracts you. Because you'll say, oh Shane, my emotions are fine. But I spend 2 to 3 hours a day on social media. I can't be by myself. I'm always got engagement with my friends. I'm always doing this, I'm always doing that. I can't sit still. I can't be in silence on my own. But my emotions are healthy. I don't feel bad. I don't have depression, I'm happy. No. No, and also we can throw in junk food and sugary food and fatty foods, whatever your vice is. That's going to cloud what your emotional status is. If you really want to know what state your emotions are in, look at your life and see what you're attracting. And also cut away all social media, friends, anything that consumes your time, anything that takes you away from the silence of your own company. Take that away and then come and tell me how happy you are. And then don't be afraid of that. Nothing to be afraid of. Know that by feeling your emotions, in the long run, you'll be taken to the joy and the bliss and the happiness. I guarantee you. Thumbs up, thumbs down, share away. Got any comments? I'll see you in the comment section. Until next time, folks. Mwah.